how the story Madeline's mother provided law enforcement doesn't line up with what investigators know.
Oh my goodness. If people thought they were going in on Madeline Soto's mom, Jenn, before, now they will really be going in on her. I've been trying to give her a break. I've been trying to give her the benefit of the doubt. But now we see this Orange County Sheriff's Office incident report, and it basically shows us how Jenn Soto is lying. So we'll go over that from Channel 9 News, this news that broke Tuesday, March 5th. It talks about how 1 week ago, Channel 9 interviewed Stefan Stearns, Maddie's so-called stepfather. We knew he was lying. People have been giving Jenn Soto a little bit of a side eye. It's her biological mom. There's so much confusion. She looked nervous. We can see her really bouncing her legs. She looked like a deer in headlights. She might be medicated. I don't know.
Case has moved to Kissimmee Police, and sources tell us that Soto has been interviewed multiple times by detectives at 2 agencies, and that they are looking closely at all the statements she's made. But officially, Kissimmee Police won't comment.
But apparently 1 week ago today, she gave police a different story. She gave the news a different story than what she had just told police. Now, this incident report is dated February 26, 2024. So yeah, that would be last Monday. That would be the day that little Maddie, 13-year-old Maddie, was reported missing. That Monday, the 26th. Now, the 27th, the very next day, comes the creepy interviews. People have been going off on Jenn. We're going to look at her new Facebook name and all the hell she's catching over there. But first, let's look at this incident report and see how it conflicts with what Jenn told authorities versus the news. So the Orange County Sheriff's Office has a report number, again, dated February 26, 2024. Supposedly Jenn, there's a reported time of a call for a missing person. 13-year-old Maddie was missing, according to her stepfather and her mother, Jenn. The reported time was 16:43. That's 4:43. So that lines up with when they called. But what's different is this incident report, where Jenn was telling the news that Tuesday that, oh, the last time I saw Maddie was that Sunday night.
But this isn't normal behavior now.
What was the last thing, I guess, the conversation that you two had, you and your daughter?
We spoke about her birthday party. She had a birthday party on Sunday. She had a great time. I couldn't make it because I was working. But she had an amazing time. She was so happy with all her gifts. I told her good night, and yeah, that was it. I was the one who took her to school in the morning. That was my partner. Yeah.
After Maddie's birthday party, now, Maddie had the birthday party, as I understand it, that Sunday night over her grandma's house somewhere. It looks really nice. The photos in the back, there's water back there. I just love the way Maddie has like that blue thing. She looks so beautiful. But heaven help this child. Thank God she's with Jesus now, because her life had to be a living hell, especially with a mom like this, who apparently is willing to lie for her man, I'm assuming, because in this incident report, Deputy Joseph is speaking, and he said, my investigation revealed the following. When I arrived on the scene, I spoke with the mother, Jennifer Soto, who gave me verbal and sworn written testimony on February 26, 2023 at approximately 8 a.m. Jennifer observed missing Maddie Soto getting dressed for school. Well, that's news to us.
Jennifer Soto told us last week that the last conversation she had with her daughter was about her 13th birthday party the night before Maddie disappeared.
I told her good night, and yeah, that was it.
She did not the next day come on Channel 9 News and say, oh yeah, I saw Maddie getting dressed for school. Now, did the officer misunderstand her, or did Jenn mislead the officers? She is very confusing. She talks to the news. She was saying, we took her to school, meaning her and her boyfriend are on and off again, weirdo, whatever he is. She said, we, and then she switches to, no, it was just my boyfriend took Maddie to school. Now, in this incident report, she's saying she saw Maddie that morning at 8 a.m. I don't even know if investigators believe Maddie was still alive at 8 a.m. So why is Jenn Soto lying? Is it because Stefan, whatever his name is, did he threaten Jenn? Did Stefan threaten Jenn, like, you better not say anything or you better switch your story? Because on the news, on Channel 9 News, the way she was trying to bring it out, she was claiming the last time she saw Maddie was actually that Sunday night. She didn't really say saw. She was saying she talked to her and Maddie was so happy about her gifts.
But according to documents, Sunday night was not the last time Soto saw Maddie. New documents show that Maddie's mom told deputies on February 26th that she saw her daughter getting dressed for school at 8 o'clock that morning and that her boyfriend then took the teen to school. But since that initial report was taken, we learned from the Orange County Sheriff that Maddie was likely dead earlier than that.
It wasn't clear when Jenn was at work. Jenn was allegedly at work and she couldn't go to Maddie's party. And even though people think Stefan went to Maddie's party, according to others, he wasn't there either. Supposedly this was a party over her grandma's house, if I'm not mistaken. But we haven't heard this before, where Jenn is saying, oh yeah, I saw Maddie at 8 a.m. So why is she saying that is the big question. So let's read the incident report. Let's talk about why she might be lying. And let's look at some of these comments she's still getting, racking up on Facebook, where people, they of course don't have much sympathy for this mom who just lost her daughter because they believe she threw her daughter to the wolves and looked the other way when she should have protected her daughter. I still don't know what the truth is, but this doesn't look good for Jenn. It talks about February 26, 2023. They mean 2024, obviously. They've said 2023 throughout this incident report, but we know they mean 2024. At approximately 1948 hours, so that's 7:48 a.m., Deputy Joseph responded to Village Park Drive, Orlando, Orange County, Florida. This was regarding the missing juvenile. While on the scene, the step-parent stated he dropped his daughter off at school, and when the mother went to the school, the daughter was not there. The parents searched within the neighborhood in places where the daughter may have gone. The parents could provide a location where the daughter may have been, but yielded negative results when deputies checked the area. So I wonder where they were leading these deputies off to on a wild goose chase. We know Jennifer's mom's business was one place, but Maddie wasn't there, as we know now. The juvenile was entered into FCIC, NCIC, and Imur Resource. I don't know if that's spelled incorrectly. Imur Resource. It's not really source, but as missing disabled. And that's when he goes into his investigation, revealing the following. Jennifer saying she saw Madeline Soto getting dressed for school around 8 a.m., and then stepfather, I hate that they call him that when he's not, Stefan Stearns took Madeline to school, dropping her off near the intersection of Town Loop Boulevard and Hunters Park Lane at approximately 8:30 hours. So we know that's a lie. Jennifer went to Hunters Creek Middle School in an attempt to pick up Madeline around 1600 hours, around 4 o'clock. So if Jenn knew this was all a lie, was she just driving over to the middle school at 4 o'clock? Like, let me get my car on the cameras. I know my daughter's not there. How much did she know? When she discovered Maddie did not make it to school, in an effort to find Maddie, Jennifer looked through the neighborhoods near Maddie's school and went to her mother's business office located at Village Park Drive. So this deputy wrote that he later spoke with Stefan, who stated in a verbal and sworn written statement the following. At approximately 8:25 to 8:40 hours a.m. that morning, supposedly he dropped Maddie off approximately 1 block away from her school at that church. Stefan watched Madeline leave his vehicle and walk towards the direction of her school. As Stefan was driving away, he could see what appeared to be Maddie searching through her book bag. He did not think anything of it due to Maddie usually looked through her bag to find headphones so she could put them in before going to school. They make note this was the same book bag and laptop that was later found dumped by Stefan. Stefan began heading home when he attempted to stop for a vape juice at a nearby vape shop, but determined it was closed. So Stefan went home to Kissimmee. Once Stefan was home for about an hour, he went back out to retrieve a vape juice and then run errands. Stefan stated he returned home and stayed home at approximately 14:30 hours. So that's 2:30. So Stefan was missing a long period of time there. He's saying he went to get a vape juice at a nearby vape shop. It was closed. He went home to Kissimmee. To whose home? We don't know who the heck lives with who. Where does Stefan live? Does he still live with Jenn or not? Because I believe he came to pick up Madeline. Well, according to Jenn, it's so many lies. I don't know if they live together or not. Once Stefan was home for about an hour, he went back out to retrieve a vape juice and then run errands. Stefan stated he returned home and stayed home approximately 1,400 hours. So they don't give us the time because maybe Stefan didn't give them the right time. Maybe he was being very vague and they don't know. He returned home and stayed home at approximately 2:30, but we don't have a strict timeline of like, okay, he dropped Madeline off around 8:25 and 8:40, which we know is a lie. And then we just have these, oh, I went looking for vape juice, I came home, and oh, then he's back home at 2:30. Now, we know why Stefan lied, because he was off. More than likely, a jury will find dumping Madeline's body, unfortunately. While on the scene, it says, I had Deputy Diaz go to Los Palmas Vista Drive, the grandmother's home, due to the proximity to both the school and the grandmother's business that Maddie would frequently visit. Is this a Mooney here? Deputy Mooney, without the E, was able to establish an attempt to contact blank Santa Maria Drive to see if Madeline made her way back to her mother's home. Both addresses yielded negative results, and someone provided this deputy with the phone number of Madeline's best friend. So,
our detectives have determined that Madeline was never dropped off. Instead, we believe she was already dead at the time and that Stephen Stearns moved her body in the early morning hours on that day.
Does this mean Miss Jenn Soto, Sailor Coda now on Facebook, could she be arrested soon? Now, of course, I feel for any person who is a victim of a man who is offering maltreatment. But the victim here, the highest victim here is Maddie. She was only 13. I shudder to think of what she went through with this pervert. I'm just going to say it. He's just all these interviews we've heard. And if you've heard the interviews with his friends lately and all the gross stuff that Stefan was allegedly into, I'll let you go find those. But for her to be exposed to a man like Stefan, and was Stefan bonded with Maddie, and whether he broke up with Jenn or not, why was Jenn still giving him access to Maddie? Now, again, I have to say, innocent until proven guilty. I don't know what Jenn knew. I feel like she had to know he was creepy. But now we know why she's so nervous in her interviews and why she's like, I don't know how much I'm supposed to say. And she's looking around and she's like wide-eyed like a deer in headlights and her legs are shaking and she's acting so weird. Well, she was probably lying. She told the cops the day before, yeah, I saw Maddie, Monday morning, 8 a.m. getting ready for school. And then in her interview on the news, doesn't she know the cops are going to see that? She's telling the news people, I saw Maddie or talked to Maddie the night before. She was so happy. She was telling me all about her gifts. Anyway, they'll sort it all out. But Jenn is trying to hide on Facebook, and she changed her name on Facebook, except there's this one post where people are still going in on her, and I'll just play it along if you want to read all the comments I captured earlier. But people are telling her, you're guilty as hell, changing your story, saying he dropped her off, then you both dropped her off. Hope you rot in jail. It goes on and on like that. She belongs under the jail. And this is before people even knew about her changing her story, this incident report. You don't deserve to be called a mother. And they're telling her to burn in hell and hope your daughter can rest in peace. They're calling her bad names. They're saying they saw her interviews. They said he was doing the unthinkable to your daughter and you turned a blind eye. What a disgrace. The truth will come out. You're next. That person might be right. I mean, if she was impeding an investigation, even if Stefan had threatened Jenn, like, you better tell or you'll be next, or, couldn't Jenn have escaped and gone to the cops and said, I need to be protected. This is what he really did. He hurt my daughter, if she knew any of that. Because why else would she say she saw Maddie getting dressed and ready at 8 a.m. and then completely change her story the next day. Either she's being intimidated or she's out and out covering for him, lying for him. Did she know what he was allegedly, reportedly doing to her own daughter? And did she just let it fly? Why? Was she that desperate or messed up? Or, you hear stories where stuff like that has gone on. Victims of mistreatment talk about, through some comments, they talk about the stuff they went through as younger people, how their mother knew, or their mother may have said, I don't believe you, he couldn't be doing that. Or was it a situation like that where it's so sad? Someone's calling her a POS mother. If it was my kid missing, I would be 24/7 in the streets looking for her. Let alone my eyes would be swollen and red from crying my A off. But we don't know. I gave her the benefit of the doubt. You don't have to cry on camera to be genuine. Because look at Stefan. He was crying allegedly up a storm, but it was all fake. But Jenn, she's just like, shaking, and then when that cat feeder bird thing went off or whatever, she kind of smiles and says, sorry, it was strange. So I'm wondering if cops, are they potentially maybe going to have a second arrest? I don't know. Someone else wrote, you are complicit. You should be in jail too. Maybe some of these people are right, but some are sticking by her. Some are saying she's never going to forgive herself if she's involved. I'm sure a mom knows when someone is misusing their child. You better watch your back. Liar, you knew. Your story is sketchy as F. So people are really going in on her. They are going in on her. They're saying don't defend what's obvious. Ain't no mother going to stay this calm when her kid is missing. People have picked up on the weird things in Jenn's interview. Of course, Stefan's interview was very weird, crying, whacked out. But the mom, and with him lingering behind her, what's the story? And the stories Stefan's friends are coming out with now, and you hear what a weirdo this guy was? Is that why him and Jenn were breaking up so much? And if so, why couldn't she make it a clean break? I know it can be hard to get away from some men. Believe me, I'm not poo-pooing any misused situations where there's horrible things going on, but a lot of people would just try and do all they can to protect their 13-year-old daughter. And people are feeling like Jenn just didn't do that. So what's going to happen now that we see this incident report? Jenn Soto has been interviewed multiple times, according to Channel 9. So I don't know. I'm just going to wait and watch and pray. And I hate that Maddie didn't have someone there protecting her, just protecting her. Jenn, it's like, oh, was Jenn at work that night, or was she sleeping in, or was she this, or was she that? And people are trying to decipher Jenn's mother's interview. It's in Spanish, and people are calling her demeanor cold. I hate to pile on to people who have lost a loved one. But when you start to think of Jenn's changing up her story, it does make me give her a side eye. I'm still waiting to see what cops will do. In the meantime, let's read Jeremiah 51:19. The portion of Jacob, the true God of Israel, is not like these handmade gods, for he is the maker of all and the one who formed and fashioned all things. And Israel is the tribe of his inheritance. The Lord of hosts is his name. So no matter what, with all these shifting stories, God knows who was really involved in Maddie's disappearance and death, and he knows who's been through what. If someone's been threatened and mistreated and maybe there's a way, I know he'll see that. He will met out justice perfectly. I'm glad Stefan has been arrested. I've been checking to see when he will appear next, or not appear as it were. And we will see about Jenn. What's going to happen? Can cops bring any charges against her? Or was she a victim of Stefan too? How is this going to play? What more are we going to find out? I guess we'll see. Thanks for watching.